So I wanted to follow up on some wonderful Greek reads you can be doing. I did Greek reads of books in English that you could find while you're in Greece and some of the more accessible or tourist or city stores you can find. But I wanted to do now some books that might not be on your radar so that you can experience, since so many of you are loving the Greek islands and all that stuff, Greek literature written within the Greek experience, whether that be the ethnicity, living there, modern authors, nonfiction. Let's go through some of my own personal library. You can hit pause, sir. So I wanted to start first with an absolutely incredible press you should know about, Kyklada Press. Nonfiction. I mean, I can go on and how brilliant these books are, whether they be in theme of things in the Aegean, themes in the Aegean that also connect to the world on gender, sexuality, environmentalism, mobility. Absolutely brilliant. Just finished reading Machine Paralysis. That goes through, as most of their books do, tying it to a Greek theme. In this case, the Kalymnos sponge divers and the paralysis and sometimes deaths that resulted in the sponge diving and the subsequent how do we move around, and then bridging that to modern day Athens and just all over the world, and how do we deal and how do we incorporate folks with disabilities or with moving impairments. How do we move differently and how do we incorporate that in our everyday lives? I can go on and on. Islands after tourism, the beach machine, the architect is absent, building a villa in Greece, bodies of extraction, healing, refugee life, free love, paid love, sex work, the sleeping hermaphrodite. Kyklada Press, wonderful, wonderful small press. I like to order these and gift them from Hypo Athens, a bookstore in Athens. If you're not in Athens, then definitely they do wonderful, seamless online orders. So that's my nonfiction must read for Greek themes that actually tie to so many global themes in the world. I'm gonna turn around because I have little post-it notes. Jumping now to, let's do some fiction. Farewell Anatolia by Didu Sotiriou. Now, this you gotta probably find at a used bookstore, quite expensive, some copies, it's probably out of print. Such a beautiful tale on a very tragic event of the Great Catastrophe, looking at Anatolia, Armenian genocide, Greek genocide, and the population exchange between when the Ottoman Empire became modern Turkey and the new Greece. Farewell Anatolia. A modern author I love, Panos Karnesis, The Maze, also deals with this time period of the Great Catastrophe of 1922, but he also has novels that are set in more modern times. Big Nobody. Okay, so I found Big Nobody by Alex Cadiz because it was published around the time of my own debut novel, and it also got a starred Kirkus reviews. This is like an hysterical, hilarious, super freaking sad, tragic, very Greek, Cypriot Greek in this case, a modern novel on being diaspora, in this case, I think England, I'm pretty sure in England, incorporates, I think, punk rock, and what it's like, the weight of being a daughter in a Cypriot diasporic family in London. So if you are of the diaspora, if you are, and it takes place, I think, in the 70s, 80s, don't quote me here, really great book, but if you are diaspora and kind of want to see those two worlds and some of the challenges one might have in living in that and dealing with a parent of another country that comes with those values that might not align with the world you're living in, and how do we discover new tomorrows for ourselves after a lot of weight. I can go on, but this should be Big Nobody, hysterical, and also like freaking traumatic at the same time. I say that because some people aren't prepared for the trauma, but it's very Greek in that way, in that it combines both, but giving you that warning. Turning around here, all right, I always forget to practice saying his name, even though I have a very long Other people say difficult last name, but I think it's pretty logical. Their Smell Makes Me Want to Cry by Menis Kumandareas. This short story collection I return to over and over and over. Okay, what just fell out is a wonderful little note from the bookseller that sent it to me, and I love handmade notes. It's very meaningful, so it's part of my memory of this book, especially because I loved it, so that's what just came out of the book. But I return to this book over and over, and it's the reason why I do readings in Greece to the sun, to the sea, to the seagulls, to the sand for myself. There's a short story in here that really talks about being a writer and what it's like in facing death, and what it's like to not want to wait anymore. It's very nostalgic, but at the same time, as Greece is transitioning to its modern today, there is one story or two that, a little bit I feel problematic. Overall, I go to this book over and over again. Fabulous writer, very, 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 very powerful. Their Smell Makes Me Want to Cry. All right, where other stickies do I have? Oh, I see some up here. All right. Good Will Come from the Sea by Christos Economou. This one actually I think I got from McNally Jackson in Rockefeller Center in their Greek author and Italian section. They put it together. This book is great in that it looks at and it gives us an insight, and I'm looking from the back during Greece's time period of dealing with the austerity measures. So if you're interested in stories of what it's like to be an everyday Greek during the time of this period in recent history where Greece had a lot of economic challenges, still has some now, but particularly then. So short stories that deal with we're not dealing about the vacation life, Greece as a landscape, but really everyday life of what it's like to live on some of these islands or in Greece, live within that economy, make a life out of that economy. This should really be on your radar for Greek literature. I think, oh wait, no, I have to say this one. This is also, okay, I can go on and on, okay? I love books, so we have a great library, but I did put stickies to kind of this is not the book, but this is a great book. I put stickies to show you, although The Daughter by Pavlos Matisis is in my library as a book that's worth keeping and that you should read, and this is also not the book. All right, Stephanie, turn around and get the book with the sticky. Okay, this is like a gem. This press and publisher has informed a lot of my own writing. Definitely something you can only find secondhand. Anything from Delphini Press that is by Eleni Fortuni, the publisher of Delphini Press, and I'm remembering it as Delphini Press. I should open this book and see. It is Delphini Press. This one in particular is Greek Women in Resistance. I have so many of her other books, Greek Women in Poetry, nonfiction, Greek female poets, is particularly during that period of Greece's civil war, after World War II, when a lot of women who were identified as leftists or were communists or were simply fighting for feminism were imprisoned and tortured and exiled, etc. And some of the poetry that came out of that era, and also what life was like as being a Greek resistance fighter. Big theme in my books. Look for Delphini Press, the publisher Eleni Fortuni. Eleni, am I saying your name right? Right, yes, I didn't put my readers on. And I'll end with one more, and this is like the Anna Karenina. I did give this author, M. Karagatsis, some love while I was in Greece, because it is very easy to find Aora books while in the kind of tourist shops or the main bookshops, but you gotta read The Great Chimera. Did I say Chimera? Is it Chimera? I think it's Chimera. Chimera, okay. Basically the Anna Karenina. I know we don't like to do that, the Greek Anna Karenina, but this book hit me and devastated me in a more powerful way I don't want to do that. I don't put one book but against the other, but like this is such a powerful book on female love, on tragedy, on being a foreigner entering Greece. I think it's the 30s, don't quote me. I was crying at 3 a.m. I'm still not over this book. It's also a Netflix series in Greece right now, The Great Chimera, and then of course some of his other books. So I'll probably stop there. I don't see any orange posties unless you guys see it, but wanted to give you some more books on Greek literature, modern Greek literature, that isn't just the wonderful island scenes, which are fun and fabulous, or the outsider view of, oh my God, Greece, I love Greece so much. That's great too, but let's give some platform to books that actually delve into Greek history, Greek culture, and also some nonfiction themes. And yeah, ask for your local bookstore for them. And as I said, Hyper Hypo is a book that delivers ships to the US. There's so many bookstores in Greece. Definitely give Free Thinking Zone and Exarchia a visit if you're there. Author Stephanie Nina Pizzarillos, who loves to read books.